Just when you think nature has shown you everything it can do, it proves you wrong. All over the planet, there are landscapes so strange, so perfectly formed that they feel less like Earth, and more like a glitch in reality. In this video, we explore 15 places shaped by time, pressure, and forces beyond human control. Geological wonders that challenge everything we think we know about the world beneath our feet. Number 15. Lena Pillars. Along the frozen banks of the Lena River, colossal stone towers rise from the Siberian wilderness like silent giants standing watch over time itself. These formations were born more than 500 million years ago when this land lay beneath ancient seas. Layer by layer, limestone and sediment slowly hardened into rock, only to be sculpted over millions of years by wind, ice, and extreme cold. Today, some pillars stretch hundreds of meters into the sky. In winter, snow transforms the landscape into a frozen monument of silence. In summer, soft light paints the stone in warm tones, revealing a world shaped not by human hands, but by deep time itself. Standing here doesn't feel like visiting a place. It feels like stepping into Earth's memory. Number 14. Egypt's White Desert. In the heart of the Sahara lies a landscape that seems carved from imagination rather than stone. What was once the floor of an ancient sea has been transformed into a field of ghostly white sculptures shaped entirely by wind and sand. Over thousands of years, erosion carved the soft limestone into forms that resemble mushrooms, animals, and abstract figures frozen in time. Under the midday sun, the desert glows blinding white. At sunset, it blushes with shades of gold and pink. At night, beneath a sky filled with stars, the terrain feels so unreal it's easy to forget you're still on Earth. A reminder that nature can be both minimalist and wildly creative at the same time. Number 13. Ha Long Bay. Off the northeastern coast of Vietnam, a vast seascape unfolds like something painted rather than formed. Thousands of limestone islands rise from emerald waters, their silhouettes softened by mist, giving the entire bay an almost dreamlike quality. These formations began taking shape nearly 300 million years ago when tectonic movement lifted ancient seabeds upward. Over immense stretches of time, rain, wind, and the slow pull of the ocean carved the limestone into cliffs, caves, and hidden lagoons. From above, the bay appears scattered and chaotic, but from within it feels deliberate, as if every island was placed with intention. Many of the rocks resemble animals, faces, or mythical creatures, fueling legends that this landscape was shaped by dragons descending into the sea. Beneath its surface beauty, Ha Long Bay also preserves traces of early human life. Archaeological evidence suggests people lived among these islands thousands of years ago, adapting to a world where land and water constantly shifted. At sunrise, when the bay is quiet and the water barely moves, Ha Long feels less like a destination and more like a living memory. A place where geology, history, and imagination drift together in silence. Number 12. AlUla, Saudi Arabia. In the remote deserts of northwestern Saudi Arabia lies a landscape shaped by extremes. Towering sandstone cliffs and isolated monoliths rise from the sand, sculpted over more than 500 million years by wind, temperature, and erosion. These rocks were once part of ancient river systems and shallow seas. As the climate changed, layers of sandstone were slowly exposed and carved into arches, pillars, and massive freestanding forms that seem almost architectural in design. One of the most striking is Elephant Rock, a formation so perfectly shaped it appears intentional, as if carved by hand rather than time. But AlUla is not only a geological wonder. Etched into these cliffs are the remains of civilizations that once flourished along vital trade routes connecting Arabia to the ancient world. Tombs, inscriptions, and ruins lie scattered across the valley, blending seamlessly into the natural rock. Here, human history feels small when compared to the vast timescale of the land itself. Walking through AlUla, especially at dusk, it becomes clear why this place feels timeless. It's a rare meeting point where stone remembers both the planet's deep past and humanity's fleeting presence upon it. Number 11. Druid's Altar. Hidden among the rolling green hills of northern England stands a formation that feels strangely deliberate. Massive sandstone blocks are stacked and balanced in a way that resembles a ceremonial altar quietly overlooking the valley below. For centuries, local legends claim this was a sacred site used by ancient Druids for rituals tied to the land and the changing seasons. While no archaeological evidence supports these stories, the formation's isolated setting and unnatural appearance have fueled imagination for generations. Geologically, the stones date back more than 300 million years to a time when this region was a vast coastal plain. Over countless years, erosion stripped away softer layers of rock, leaving behind these angular blocks, shaped entirely by natural forces. And yet, knowing the science doesn't fully explain the feeling of the place. Sitting atop the stones, surrounded by open sky and wind, time seems to stretch and slow. Druid's Altar is a reminder that even when nature works without intention, it can still create places that feel deeply symbolic, as if the landscape itself is inviting us to pause and listen. Number 10. White Pocket. Hidden deep within the remote deserts of northern Arizona lies a landscape that feels more imagined than real. Swirling bands of white, red, pink, and orange stone twist across the ground like frozen waves, creating a maze of color carved directly into the rock. White Pocket began forming nearly 190 million years ago when this region was buried beneath vast sand dunes. Over time, pressure compressed the sand into sandstone, while tectonic forces twisted and folded the layers into complex patterns. Millions of years of wind and rain then slowly eroded the surface, revealing the surreal designs visible today. Unlike more famous formations nearby, White Pocket remains difficult to access. Reaching it requires traveling far from paved roads, which has helped preserve its untouched appearance. As the sun moves across the sky, shadows slide through the stone, and the colors shift subtly with the light. Standing here feels like stepping onto another planet, a reminder that Earth still holds places that challenge our sense of reality. Number 9. Mono Lake. At the edge of California's high desert lies a body of water unlike any other. Mono Lake is one of the oldest lakes in North America, a place where chemistry, time, and isolation have created a landscape that feels almost alien. The lake formed more than 700,000 years ago and has no natural outlet. As water evaporates, minerals remain behind, making the lake far saltier than the ocean. Beneath its surface, underwater springs rich in calcium once met carbonate-heavy water, triggering reactions that slowly built towering limestone structures known as tufa towers. When water levels dropped in the 20th century, these formations emerged fully into view, rising like the ruins of a submerged city. Some stand several meters tall, their twisted shapes appearing sculpted rather than grown. Despite the harsh conditions, Mono Lake supports a thriving ecosystem of birds and microorganisms. It's a place where extremes coexist: beauty and hostility, stillness and life, frozen together in time. Number 8. Bryce Canyon. Despite its name, Bryce Canyon is not a true canyon but the eroded edge of a vast plateau. What makes it extraordinary is the dense forest of stone spires known as hoodoos rising in endless clusters across the landscape. These formations began as layers of sediment laid down between 30 and 60 million years ago. Over time, uplift raised the land, and cycles of freezing and thawing caused water to seep into cracks, expand, and fracture the rock. This process, repeated hundreds of times each year, slowly carved the stone into towering pillars. No two hoodoos are alike. Some are slender and fragile, others thick and imposing. At sunrise, the canyon glows with shades of red, orange, and pink. In winter, snow settles atop each spire, creating sharp contrasts that feel almost unreal. Standing at the rim of Bryce Canyon, it's easy to feel as though you're looking into a natural cathedral, one built patiently, not by design, but by time itself. Number 7. Brimham Rocks. Scattered across the countryside of northern England, Brimham Rocks feels like a natural sculpture garden shaped by imagination rather than erosion. Massive stones balance, twist, and rise in shapes that resemble animals, dancers, and abstract forms. These rocks are composed of sandstone laid down by ancient rivers more than 300 million years ago. Over countless generations, wind, rain, and frost wore away the softer layers, leaving behind the strange and varied forms seen today. In the past, people believed the rocks were created by supernatural forces or ancient rituals. Even now, it's difficult to stand among them without feeling that sense of quiet wonder. As the sun sets and long shadows stretch across the ground, the formations seem to shift and change, proving that nature doesn't need intention to create art. Number 6. Wahweap Hoodoos. Rising from the remote deserts of southern Utah, the Wahweap Hoodoos appear like giant stone mushrooms delicately balanced against gravity. Their smooth, pale stems support darker capstones, forming shapes that feel both fragile and impossible. These formations date back roughly 160 million years to the Jurassic period, when this region was shaped by ancient rivers and floodplains. Over time, layers of sediment hardened into rock, only to be slowly sculpted by erosion. Softer sandstone wore away faster than the harder layers above, leaving behind these slender towers standing in quiet defiance of collapse. Reaching the Wahweap Hoodoos is not easy. The journey requires a long hike across dry creek beds and exposed desert terrain, far from roads and crowds. That isolation has helped preserve their untouched appearance, allowing the landscape to remain almost exactly as time left it. As the sun moves across the sky, the hoodoos shift in color, glowing bright white under harsh daylight, then softening into silvery tones as evening approaches. In the stillness, there's a sense of tension, as if each formation is suspended in a delicate balance that could change at any moment. The Wahweap Hoodoos are a reminder that even the most fragile-looking structures can endure for millions of years, shaped not by force, but by patience. Number 5. Goblin Valley. Hidden within the deserts of central Utah lies a landscape that feels lifted straight from a fantasy world. Thousands of rounded stone figures rise from the ground, clustered together as if frozen mid-movement. From a distance, they resemble an army of silent creatures gathered beneath the desert sun. These strange formations were created more than 170 million years ago from layers of Entrada sandstone, deposited when this region was once a shallow sea and coastal plain. Over immense spans of time, wind, water, and slightly acidic rain slowly eroded the softer rock, leaving behind the harder, rounded shapes we see today. What makes Goblin Valley unique is that no two formations are the same. Each stone figure appears to have its own posture, its own expression, giving the valley an almost playful, yet eerie, personality. It's easy to understand why early explorers felt as though they had stumbled into another world. Unlike many protected landscapes, visitors here can freely wander among the formations, walking between the stone figures and experiencing the scale up close. As the sun lowers, shadows stretch across the valley and the goblins seem to come alive, shifting character with every change in light. Goblin Valley is a reminder that nature doesn't always create with grandeur. Sometimes it creates with imagination, shaping a place where geology feels less like science and more like storytelling written in stone. Number 4. The Three Sisters. Rising from the edge of the Jameson Valley in Australia's Blue Mountains, 3 towering sandstone pillars emerge through layers of mist, like silent guardians watching over the land below. Their presence is striking, not only because of their height, but because of the sense of story they carry within them. According to Aboriginal legend, the formations represent 3 sisters turned to stone to protect them during a time of great danger. The tale has been passed down for generations, blending human history with the landscape itself. Even today, standing before them, it's easy to understand why myth became part of this place. Geologically, the Three Sisters were formed around 200 million years ago when this region lay beneath ancient seas. Over time, layers of sandstone were uplifted and relentless erosion carved away the surrounding cliffs, leaving these dramatic spires standing apart from the plateau. Each pillar rises hundreds of meters above the valley floor, shaped slowly by wind, rain, and gravity. As clouds drift past and light shifts throughout the day, the formations seem to change character, sometimes appearing solid and imposing, other times fragile and distant. Viewed from any angle, the Three Sisters feel less like isolated rocks and more like a presence, a reminder that some landscapes are not only seen but felt, carrying both geological time and cultural memory within their stone. Number 3. Bentonite Hills. Tucked away near the remote deserts of southern Utah lies a landscape that looks more like a painting than solid ground. Soft rolling hills stretch across the terrain in waves of color, gray, lavender, pale blue, deep red, and soft pink, as if the earth itself were slowly breathing beneath your feet. These hills were formed between 150 and 200 million years ago from layers of volcanic ash that settled across the region. Over time, the ash transformed into bentonite clay, a material highly sensitive to water and erosion. As rain and wind reshaped the surface, the hills developed their smooth, flowing textures, creating a landscape that feels almost fluid despite being made of stone. What gives the Bentonite Hills their striking colors is the variation in minerals trapped within the ancient ash. Each layer reacts differently to weather and light, painting the land in subtle gradients that shift throughout the day. Unlike more famous destinations, there are no signs, fences, or paved paths leading here. The absence of crowds adds to the surreal experience, making it feel as though you've discovered a place not meant to be found. After rainfall or at sunset, mist rises gently from the ground, and the hills seem to glow from within. Standing there, surrounded by colors too vivid to feel real, it's easy to forget where you are and realize just how creative time can be when left undisturbed. Number 2. Al-Nasla Rock. In the vast deserts of northwestern Saudi Arabia stands a massive granite boulder that looks as though it was split with surgical precision. A razor-thin vertical crack divides the stone cleanly in two, allowing light to pass straight through the center. Yet both halves remain perfectly upright. The formation rises nearly 6 meters tall, balanced on narrow contact points at its base, creating a site that feels deliberately engineered rather than naturally formed. At first glance, it's difficult to believe this structure is the result of geological processes alone. Scientists suggest the split may have formed through natural fracturing in granite, caused by extreme temperature changes that force the rock to expand and contract over time. Others believe the crack could trace an ancient fault line, later sharpened by wind and sand erosion across thousands of years. Adding to the mystery, ancient petroglyphs carved into one side of the rock hint at civilizations that stood before this formation long before modern science attempted to explain it. Al-Nasla Rock exists in that rare space where explanation feels incomplete, a place where geology answers some questions but leaves others suspended in silence. Number 1. Split Apple Rock. Floating just offshore in the calm waters of New Zealand's Tasman Bay is a massive granite boulder shaped like a perfectly halved apple. Its clean, symmetrical split looks so precise that it feels less like erosion and more like an intentional act frozen in time. This rock formed over 120 million years ago from solid granite. Geologists believe the split occurred when water seeped into a natural fracture, later freezing and expanding until the stone slowly separated along a perfect line. A gradual process unfolding over countless seasons. But long before science offered explanations, local Maori legend told a different story. One of two gods locked in conflict, splitting the stone apart in a moment of divine force. Two interpretations, separated by time, both attempting to explain the same impossible sight. Accessible only by kayak or during low tide, Split Apple Rock feels isolated and peaceful, resting quietly as waves lap against its base. There's no sense of danger here, only stillness and symmetry. As the final stop on this journey, it serves as a reminder that some of Earth's most extraordinary creations don't overwhelm us with size or scale, but with precision. A moment where nature paused, split the stone, and left behind a question that still feels unanswered. These formations are not accidents. They are the result of patience, pressure, and time beyond human scale. In the next journey, we'll explore geological marvels so extreme, so unsettling, that even scientists are left questioning how they exist at all.